I think that's the whole like massive part of it, is you're identifying your work on your strengths. And sometimes too, I think as Kiwis especially, you probably find it hard to recognize what you're good at. And so that's where I think too it's also important having a coach there, because they can be like, you're good at that. And I guess that just builds belief too in the athlete. But I think the power that you're deciding where you put each thing, and then you're kind of running your program. And I think then you've got real clarity, you've got structure, and it's everything you're wanting to work towards. And I think it's so easy. I think sometimes you could go to training and just, as a cricketer, you could just hit balls for the sake of hitting balls or whatever. But because of this process, it gives you real purpose. And if you're training with purpose, you're going to get a whole lot better. And that's what I found when I did that first card process with you when I was 14, 15. It was, we did everything that was in my control, out of my control, and then set up a training week and what I need to get better at. And it was just, so my whole week was so purposeful. 2019 it was. I had been asked to go play cricket in England for a T20 team over there, and I would have been going over as a leg spinner, batting about 7. And from the card sort, my training program was a big thing for me, and probably the priority was becoming a better batter. And I knew that if I went over to the UK, it was going to be awesome for my bowling, because I'd be bowling against some of the best players in the world. But I wouldn't be batting every game, and then you kind of travel, play, train, play. So, you're batting once every 4 days. And for me, it just made it very clear that it wasn't the best thing for me to do, because my priority at that point in my training program was improving my batting. And I knew that going over to England, batting once or twice a week wasn't going to necessarily make me a better batter. And so I decided to stay at home, and I had the conversations with New Zealand Cricket and my coaches, and it was just made very clear, because I had this training program and everything I wanted to get better at, and at the top of that list was batting, and because that was at the top of my list, going over to England wasn't going to improve it. So it became it. It's always hard making decisions and turning down contracts, because you feel like you don't want to turn down opportunities or anything like that. But if the communication is there and you're clear with that, and I think for me it was just so obvious that from that the system and the program I had kind of created that I wanted to get better at, going to England wasn't going to be that best in it. And I find making decisions hard, but that made it really easy for me. It made it really clear, because I was working towards, a World Cup the year after, where I wanted to be batting higher for New Zealand. And if I wanted to do that, I needed 6 months at home where I could bat every day and get better at the skills that were going to allow me to bat for New Zealand. I guess the whole thing, it just makes you aware, and it's not someone necessarily telling you what you need to get better at. You're kind of doing it yourself, and you can do it with your coach or a mentor. And there was real drive into getting better at the things I was struggling at, but also the things that make me really good as a cricketer, keeping those skills up. And I think the whole thing is, as an athlete, you're in control. You can have your coach there to kind of understand you. And when athletes perform at their best, it's when they're clear and know their game. And if you know it and your coach knows it, then you can kind of build confidence around your game. And if I could encourage athletes, coaches to do this, I would. It helped me so much. And I think sometimes we can get a bit muddled, and this just provides clarity in our games and our training programs. And yeah, if you I think if you want to get the best out of yourself, this just simplifies everything for you and helps you build a really good structure. And yeah, I think it's amazing what you've set up, Susie, and I really hope that it's helped me a lot. I'm sure it's going to help a lot of athletes out there, not just with their skills, but as people as well. So yeah, if you're an athlete, a coach, 100%, just give it a go, because it's so beneficial.